Hello everybody, I'm Peter McIntosh and welcome to our Experience Kyoto channel. It'll now be called the Ikke channel, just to make it a little easier to say. So I'm here to talk about, well, the big elephant in the room. How was Kyoto hit by the coronavirus? Well, 2020 was gearing up to be an awesome year for tourism. Unfortunately, from the early set on, we did not see a light at the end of the tunnel. Cancellations started coming in February, well, even end of January, or postponements anyway, and it really shut down. To take a rose from a weed, I would say the silver lining was that for those of us who live in Kyoto, it was a wonderful time to actually see our city again without tourists. Walking down beautiful streets without groups of people wheeling their suitcases down. It was just a fun time. It was a little eerie in some parts as well. Places that we were so used to being overcrowded were almost ghost towns, especially the Geisha districts. So that's why I'm standing right here in the Regualr district, which is the second biggest of our 5 districts. And as you can see, the streets are quite barren. Big groups of tourists are not around, and you don't see many of the geisha moving about as you would have last year if you came down around this time. Come on, let's take a walk. So as you can see, you still have families who live in the neighborhood, nearby the neighborhood, walking down the street. Something you didn't see that often around this time of day because the Geiko Maiko would be moving about between engagements. You'd have tourists with their cameras chasing down the geisha, trying to get that Kodak moment. Is that even a term anymore? I have no idea. But I'm sure you know what I mean. I mean, it is nice to have the streets to ourselves, especially people who reside here. And especially the old timers who are actually born and raised in these areas. They feel like they've got their city back. However, the ones who have businesses in the area are starting to feel it economically with absolutely no tourists. Fortunately, however, the Japanese government has given the okay to travel within the country. So there's a few campaigns that are promoting Kyoto being the #1 tourist destination for Japanese in Japan is having promotions too. You can stay at hotels that usually cost a bundle for a decent price now. And you know, it's just specials here and there to kind of revamp the economy. So I got some questions sent into us about how did the geisha deal with the coronavirus? It's not back to normal, but there is movement compared to a week or even 2 weeks ago when there was very little movement, especially at the early hours, 6 o'clock. Usually their first engagements begin between 6 to 8:30, and most of those appointments have disappeared since the coronavirus epidemic hit here. There are some restrictions. The geisha face are only allowed to work until 10 o'clock in this district. Other districts are different and rules vary, but there's no physical contact like when you're playing games or pouring drinks, supposedly. And there's also, in the tea houses, there's a special distance you're supposed to keep. Some tea houses have people lined up side by side instead of facing each other to help prevent the spread of the virus. So there are, and of course, wearing masks when inside without the white makeup. The customers have to wear masks, and of course sanitizing before entering any of the tea houses. Yeah, it's going to be a long, hard journey to get back to normal, which I hope they really don't get back to the past couple of years normal. I think now it's time for regular customers to step up and, you know, put their money where their mouth is, and instead of just doing photos of them and hiring them for photo shoots, actually become a customer of the geisha districts and actually learn a little bit more about the traditional song and dance, and, you know, get back to where customer appreciation was at a high rather than, you know, a photo session and, you know, a couple of selfies. 食べてないから貧乏やしどうしよう 飲み物あったら十分や。
飲まへんな。
飲めへん。
飲んでも水、水紅茶。
な、お水と。
お兄さんね、プープや。
昔な、今は飲んでないよ。今禁酒中。
ほんまかいな。
ほんま。もう半年敵も飲んでへん。
まあ、体だけ気をつけてや。
ありがとう。
気をつけて。気をつけて。
おおきに。
さよなら。
さよなら。One of the long-term members of the district. I don't think she was actually part of the Hanamachi directly, rather than a daughter of one of the houses. It's weird. The more you live here, and the more you get to know people, the harder it is to ask questions and get to know them on more of a personal basis. Sure, it's very friendly and you know, congenial, but it's, yeah, still there's always a line or a wall. You don't want to. It's very hard to get past that, and sometimes it's better not to get past it. Here we are in Kyoto's Miyagawacho district. It's the second biggest of the 5 geisha districts, so it's quite a lively district, especially before the coronavirus hit. So it was about mid-April that they officially shut the doors down, where customers were not allowed to come and the geisha were not allowed to be hired out. So I think they officially opened up on June 1st, you know, a kind of a slow, soft opening, and things are starting to pick up. You've seen a few of the Michael walking down the street in the white makeup. But in the early weeks, it was mostly regular customers hiring their more senior Michael and Geiko out for dinner engagements. Now the parties are starting to come back a little bit, the business engagements. Tourism towards Japanese customers is opening up, so some of the restaurants that hire them to put on shows for Japanese tourists, they're starting to pop up, they're reopened, so to speak. That's great, you know, especially summertime. Kyoto's quite lovely. It has the balconies outside the Kamo River, and up in northern Kyoto they have been eating along the river on the balconies as well, and the verandas. So yeah, the Maiko are moving around to more Japanese-oriented tourist attractions or events. Unfortunately, foreign tourists are not really allowed back into Japan now, so that industry has been hit very hard. So, and that's my industry. So I've been hit very hard. The only thing we can do is just hope that people are socially responsible, wearing masks, sanitizing, and socially distancing when they can. Well, thank you for watching. That's the end of our first episode on Experience Kyoto channel, EK channel. Look forward to sharing more information, so I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to try to make this channel so addictive that you can't help but clicking on that subscribe button. So please feel free to send in your questions, and look forward to seeing you tuning in later. Bye for now. That wasn't bad. Yeah.